guys, Cat Demon 43 and back with another episode of The Letter, and I originally intended to try to see if I could get this part out a bit sooner. I might actually have to cut it in half just because it's Ashton's thing, so we'll see how it goes. But mainly just also because around last week I actually had some stuff involving with trying to get back into school. I had to take 2 tests. Injured myself falling down the stairs. Not really fun, but you know. But yeah. So that's what's been going on. And I realized that in my last episode that you guys can hear the clicking of my mouse. So what I'm going to do with this is to use the mouse on my actual PC, so it's just me tapping that rather than my actual mouse because it clicks, it makes noise, and I am very sorry. I completely forgot since I switched back to my old headset. But what can you do, I guess? I also wanted to make some news and tell you guys that I'm almost done the rewrite of my book. Yay! Almost complete. Nearly there at the finish line, kinda. At least in regards to what I had originally written, I'm almost past it. So, in regards to, like, chapter-wise. So there's that. But anyway, enough of me blabbing. Let's get back into this. So as I mentioned before, guys, I'm just gonna do what I did before, and that's just speed through everything. So, let's just do that.
Can't you at least act with a bit more shame?
Becca, if I find a single scratch on Shirley, there will be hell to pay.
There will also be hell to pay if he so much as harms a hair on either Zach or Rebecca's heads. Worrying about Isabella's brief dealings with him is stressing in itself. I doubt he'll attempt anything in front of other people, though. It would tarnish his glorious reputation, and he values appearances more than anything. It doesn't necessarily mean he isn't capable of it. More than, in fact. In the off chance he does something, I wouldn't be responsible for my actions.
Those guys know what they're doing. They're handling cars worth more than your precious Shirley.
Can't exactly say the same for my good old boss, can I? Although to see him here, chatting it up with Luxborn's rich and famous, isn't such a big surprise in itself. No disrespect meant, but the guy is obviously a social climber. What is surprising is the fact he seems all too eager to mingle with a person of interest's wife. Just what the hell is he doing here?
Ashton?
Sorry, Becca, I just saw someone I need to catch up with. Longtime friend.
What the shit is going on here? No duh.
Oh wait, Ash! What about...
This won't be long. Be careful while I'm gone, okay?
Bullshit.
Hey, be careful! About what exact...
I don't want to draw attention to myself either. At least not until he's given me proper reason to spoil his little party.
Thank you for the invite, Anna. Husband still missing, I see?
I should be saying the same of your darling Rochelle, Lee. The doctors again?
For now, the best I can do is wait and remain inconspicuous, especially with Chief here, whose motives are dubious at best. If it means having to pretend I don't know Zach and Rebecca, or forcing myself to rub elbows with people I barely know, let alone like, then so be it. I can't involve anyone. Wandering is out of the question as well. There are guards in civvies stationed here and there. Sure, getting past them is something I could do with ease, but I'd rather not right now. When I'm one of the few snooping and roaming about, it'd be best to try to do so once there's a crowd of people. And if their interior designer's drunken claims are to be believed...
Yes, well, what about Luke? Should we file a missing persons report now, or do you want to wait 24 hours?
He's around.
You know, I can tell if someone's bluffing.
But he even tried to make a move on Isabella back in the open house right in front of his wife. Standing in the same room as him doesn't make me want to punch him any less. Actually, the urge is stronger. But protocols, my case, first and foremost. My own opinion of the man shouldn't get ahead of my purpose here. If I want to put him in his place, it should be in court, with all proper charges filed against him. And I'll only be able to do that once I gather enough evidence to pin this bastard down.
Welcome, one and all, to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are all ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen. So enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses, as we only allowed the best to be served.
A friend invited me to go with her. What were you doing there? I know we don't have a strict rule against attending functions, but that was...
He coughs, and it almost sounds like he's choking on his own excuses? Lies? I don't want to accuse him of anything, yet. He's someone I've respected since I joined LPD. Even with his bizarre sense of humor and tendency to procrastinate. He's obviously competent enough to get the job done. He wouldn't be Chief Inspector of Luxbourne Police if he wasn't. He wouldn't last years in service without some track record backing him. Unless that too is a fluke. And what's backing him is not something, but someone. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling of that when I first played this. When I hit Ashton's story, or mainly just involving with when we saw the Chief Inspector in Hana's chapter, so to speak. And it was something about him gave me the vibe of uncomfortable and sleazy, you know? Oh, shit. Fucking hell. Fucking shit.
Chief Harvey, about last night with the...
Why does it matter, Frey? This isn't about that.
Why does it matter? Why does it matter? I recite the whole damn oath we've taken upon being sworn into service if I can. But at this point it seems too late to remind him of that. He has probably already moved from serving and protecting people to serving and protecting his own interests. Damn it. I've suspected the upper brass of this, even the lower-ranked subordinates in the force. But from my own boss? Shit, no wonder that leak didn't lead anywhere. Someone closer might have been pulling the strings. I might have been set up to fail long before the fucking case has even been assigned to me. But I don't want to give up this. I don't want to give this up. I don't want to believe I've wasted an entire year for this. I don't want this to be the kind of news to tell Professor Clark after all those promises I've given the man.
I just want to know, sir, at the party, with Luke and Hannah Wright, you were...
Monday, Detective Inspector. First thing in the morning. Every copy of the files you have, I want to see it all on my table, understood?
This isn't...
Frey, am I understood?
What else can I do other than smile and nod? When my own superior expecting an answer, using that tone, brushing my questions off as easy as discarding a dead body.
Yes. Yes, sir.
He cuts the line as soon as the words are out. Cut you off the case, Frey, just like that. Okay. Probably nothing new. Yep. Yeah, nothing new. Okay.
Maybe you even just used me to get into the party. You said yes to being my +1, but you were rather excited to just peel yourself off, weren't you? Honestly, I'm feeling a bit used.
I couldn't even look her in the eye. It wasn't that I lied to her. I honestly wanted to be there, to keep Zach safe, to keep Rebecca safe. Just in case. Client or family friend, it was still a party hosted by a person of interest, by a man accused years ago of murdering a person's wife to get what he wanted. Oh, fuck. Fuck. I was right. Damn it. Why is this Luke such a scumbag? Why is this Luke such a scumbag? Makes me wonder then, did he do that too in my original playthrough? Like, did Luke kill Hana's father in that one too? In my first playthrough as well? Did I not notice it? Am I the dumb or... fuck it. But then, Chief showed up. Hana Wright happened. And Luke Wright just couldn't be bothered to die peacefully somewhere. All of a sudden, none of my original reasons mattered. If I was found out, right then and there, hell, if Zach and Rebecca's connection with me was found out, who knows what might have happened. But Rebecca doesn't understand that. Doesn't understand what I can and can't say to keep them from harm. It's all in her eyes, in the tight line of her lips and the furrowed brows. The hurt.
I'll ask this again. Just what were you up to during the party? What were you doing that you couldn't even take 2 seconds to make time for your friends?
This day is just off to a wonderful start. Well, you kind of should have explained too. I mean, like, this is also... I'm also going to go there for work purposes too, so if I can't hang out around with you guys, then there's that. Like, you don't have to go in detail. But yeah. I wonder how many times I've told her that. And just not her, my dad, my mom, Zach, and even Isabella. How many times have I told them what essentially boiled down to mind your own business, to make sure they're all safe, to keep them out of danger? My job isn't a game. It isn't as glamorous as the television portrays it to be. I had thought so too as a child. I was so clueless back then, wasn't I? But boy, did I learn. The good guys don't always win. Justice isn't always served. Investigation is not looking at a crime scene once and getting a eureka moment. It's sleepless nights at a crime lab with the tech guys. It's several days wearing the same clothes with Chinese takeout stains because I'm staking out a place. It's frustration when bureaucracy hinders you from looking into a case any further, or when you know the suspect is guilty, but they get away scot-free on a technicality. Yeah, that would be really frustrating. It's seeing anger and pain and despair with every case.
I know you have a mountain of questions, but I've told you this so many times before. I can't say much more than that.
Still, the look on Rebecca's face, the resentment and the pain. It hurts me as well, to think that I'm the cause of that. It's a familiar one too, something I've seen a lot over the years. I wonder how long it'll take before Zach starts giving me that same one. Or until I've hurt Isabella in a way that any sincere apology won't be enough. What a mess. I'm a mess. And it's the people close to me who have to suffer for it.
Official police business, huh? So you did use me?
Used. The way she utters it just makes me feel like a total scumbag. It's not like I did it all on purpose. But I can't just hold someone else responsible for this, right? Who am I going to blame? The chief? Hana Wright? Luke Wright? Nah, bud, this is on you. Doing so feels like cowardice. It doesn't change the fact that I'm the one who put us in this situation. I can't even look at her anymore, with this guilt eating me up inside. But then she laughs. half-hearted and barely with a hint of cheer in it, but it's laughed nevertheless. I honestly don't know what to make of that, what to do with myself upon hearing it. It's almost like the mere sound of it is meant to pierce.
The least you could have done is tell me.
Yeah.
Maybe I could have helped. Kept an ear and an eye out for you. I don't know. I could have been Irene Adler, maybe?
Her smile doesn't quite reach her eyes, but the mask, she tries so hard for me. I give her a smile of my own, though I imagine it comes off as unenthusiastic as hers. It's far easier to slip back to banter when it's like this, to just brush everything off everything. At least this way, you wouldn't have to deal with the awful things.
The woman? Don't flatter yourself. Nancy Blue, more like.
Oh, come on.
Her sidekick would beg to differ, Ashette.
I can't stop a wry grin from forming in my lips. She probably still has the photo from the contest kept in her old diary. Yes, I want to see that. I never did find either of the two after I threatened to burn them. In the end, I just never brought it up again, hoping she'd just forget about the whole thing. But the small smile on her face says a lot. Those were good times. A lot simpler, a lot more peaceful. Now things have changed. We're no longer the same people we were as kids. Growing up together doesn't mean it always has to be just the two of us in the first place. It's a dumb notion to believe in. When nothing ever remains consistent, things will inevitably change throughout the years. In fact, it already has long ago, not with just the people we allowed into our respective lives, but also with us, as people, as friends. It really does get complicated as we get older, doesn't it? Yeah. Not everything has to be, though. Even if it's in the form of a promise, I have no idea when I'll be able to fulfill.
I swear, I'll explain when it's all over.
The silence afterwards brings an even heavier air between us. Something that Rebecca, thankfully, doesn't allow to linger
Suppose you have to
more than necessary.
now, huh?
The situation's already awkward as it is. Dragging this out will only make it more... what? Difficult? Messed up? As if it isn't already.
Back to your case again?
I don't really have to. I have no case. As far as the job is concerned, I have the weekend off until I have to report to the chief on Monday. Although I don't want to just throw in the towel on this. Orders are orders. This isn't like the movies. I don't get to say, fuck off, throw my gun and badge at him, become some vigilante, save the day and get my job back. Yeah, no. I'd rather get my ass thrown in jail than do any of that. But it's also not in my nature to sit still and do nothing. It'll drive me crazy if I just idle about. Besides, there's someone who has to know about this whole Luke Wright thing.
Yeah, I need to go talk to Professor Clark. And there's something else I need to look into.
That other matter she mentioned last night, specifically. The same stuff Zachary has also been trying to tell me. Things that the news have been blasting out in the general populace lately. Evening, afternoon, morning, all deaths with the same modulus, blamed on a single serial killer. Or is it still the case?
Found dead in the early hours of the morning today. The fire was contained within the room and no other tenants were harmed, according to Luxbourne police.
We're grasping at straws as far as these murders are concerned. In the first place, I'm not even the one heading this investigation. Yet look at me treating it as if it's another high-profile case on my shoulder. How sad is that? Although all three of my friends have mentioned seeing something strange, I don't want to go into that line of thinking for now. Not yet. Not until I've exhausted every logical argument I can throw at it. Yeah, but if all three of your friends are telling you this, I think you should listen. To be honest, though, I don't know how to take all of this anymore. I've already given Isabella my word. It'd bother me if I didn't follow up on a promise I made to her. And after Rebecca's claims last night, there won't be enough sarcasm in the world if what my friends have been telling me is true. I can already hear Isabella's laughter, in fact.
Figures. What else can it be?
It's not another case. It's something else. That issue Isabella mentioned yesterday morning. I'm sure you remember. You were there.
Well, at least you're not neglecting all your friends.
Becca, I promised her I'll...
She doesn't wait for me to finish. The roll of her eyes, she turns around and shuts the door in my face. Yeah, you deserve that. I would have said this time, but...
I probably deserve that.
Yes. Because as much as it pains me to admit, I can't give her the same affection she's asking from me. We might spend so many years alongside each other. Hell, we practically grew up together. But that never automatically means I'll ever hold for her feelings that goes beyond the boundaries of friendship. I do appreciate her presence in my life. I'm more than glad that she has stuck with me even through the toughest moments, even when she finds me difficult or aggravating. However, it's really all there is to it. She's a close, important friend to me, but nothing more.
Rebecca, I
draw in a breath, ragged, unsure. Uncertain how and which words to put together. So it will hurt her less, so the wounds they might leave won't be as deep or scar. In the end, I can only utter an apology.
I'm really sorry, Becca.
Aw. Stark refusal. Aw, poor Becca, I'm so sorry. But... sorry. I'm really sorry. How I got here. Was it... Huh. Weird. Okay.
I'm glad, I'm happy you feel that way, but I can't, I can't.
Yeah, he loves Isabella.
There's already someone that I'm in love with.
Yeah, no duh. This is so different. What happened? Is it because I got Isabella's bar all the way to the top?
Someone else.
It'll take all of my willpower to force myself to even look at her. For sure there will be hurt. Maybe she'll even be angry, and I don't hold it against her. And sure enough, when our eyes meet, her mouth has already settled into a tight line as she assumes a rigid pose. There's a sharpness in her gaze, but behind it is pain, undeniable, searing. Something that she tries to hide by hastily looking away and stepping back.
Becca, I know this...
It's all right, Ashton. You don't have to explain anything.
Yeah, but you should... I should...
I told you, no need. It's not like I didn't have an idea or anything. When you think about it, it's really quite obvious. The way you've always looked at her said everything. Anyway, let's just end this conversation here, all right? I don't think it would do us both any good. This is going to get really awkward if we keep at it.
Well,
when all has been said and done, at least I told you, right?
yeah. I mean, even though if you know the person you like doesn't like you back, it takes a lot of courage just to go up and tell the person that you like them. I personally never could because, well, I just felt I didn't have the right to say it. I won't go into detail about that, but that's kind of what I took away. What I can really understand with Rebecca and why I can really, really get where she's coming from in regards to like feelings that you have or you had for someone. For me, this is a while back, way back, but at the same time, it's a relatable feeling.
Maybe I can finally let this whole thing go. Who knows? Thanks for hearing me out, though. I won't keep you long. I know you have things to do.
Date Zach. Date the cinnamon roll who cooks amazing food.
Just promise me you won't do anything dumb, all right?
No promises. I'm sorry. She doesn't wait for an answer. Instead, she flashes me one last strained smile before walking away, while the only thing I can do is watch her retreating back. Yeah, I can't read. Yeah, this is different, because the first time she was more understanding, and in this one she's like, no, not as good. Ashton left for the mansion at nightfall, but when he got to his car, he found Rebecca waiting for him. Fearing she might not have the chance, Rebecca confessed her feelings. However, Ashton couldn't reciprocate. Visibly hurt, Rebecca left it at that. She only wanted him to know. Okay. In that one moment, one conversation, something also breaks between us. Something irreparable. A different kind of regret. That's also the thing, too. I mean, like, if you guys are friends and one person kind of likes the other in a more romantic way, but the other one doesn't, and if you confess it, it can destroy friendships, which sucks, because a lot of people don't want that. Like, I mean, in regards to, say, like, with shipping and whatnot, because this happens a lot, and people are just like, oh, well, these two characters should be together because they're friends and whatnot. No, that doesn't work in the real world, and this shows that. At least my takeaway, it kind of shows that in this game, which is good. I mean, at the same time, there are moments... anyway. Haunting me amidst the silence of my car as I drive off and leave it all behind. More worrisome than the putrid, festering smell, however, are the cells that line both sides of the tunnel. Under the dim light, I can barely make out what's inside some of them. I already have a few ideas, all of which I refuse to delve into at the moment. Knowing how long this mansion has stood, somehow, no matter how unexpected finding the existence of this place is, it isn't too surprising.
I wonder if Scumbag knows about this.
I don't know, maybe. Probably not, unless he's also the kind of person who takes joy in inflicting this kind of suffering on others. I don't really think so. No, I think that was the heiress, because she beat the crap out of her fiancé and killed a frickin' cat. I'm still upset at that. He's rotten to the core, but not that rotten. He'll probably balk at this, move out at the first opportunity, and have it demolished. The very idea of what has occurred in this place years ago makes me reel as well. I've known long ago places like this tend to hold secrets. This, though? If this is just the tip of the iceberg, I fear what I may discover in the mansion itself and the tale behind that fucking letter. But fear's inconsequential. As unpleasant as the sight of this is, this place might also be the only way for me to get inside unnoticed. Sighing and taking one last gulp of clean air, I push my way through from the wall and delve deeper into the passage.
Let's just hope it'll be smooth sailing from here on.
I doubt it. Turns out it is for the most part. Oh, okay. The path rarely deviates. No sharp turns or branching routes. Just a long, empty hallway stretching out before me, filled with nothing but dust, dirt, and a few rusted chains scattered about. The only problem is having an overactive imagination, and walking amidst a place shadowed by death. Every sound, every sudden movement, even the faintest of it, spurs it. At times there are scampering, small noises that abruptly rise above my footfalls. Oh, it's mice, okay. Rebounding off the hollowed walls and echoing inaudibly across the whole span of the tunnel, before fading away just as swiftly as it rang.
It's probably just some animal.
Yep, a rat, maybe? I hope. I pause, nevertheless, straining my ears for more of it, while I gradually move my hand to my side, slowly and steadily, until the tips of my fingers brush off the gun's handle. Although cold against my skin, it's the closest thing I have to comfort at the moment. For a long minute, I wait, holding my breath, watching every form, edge, and shadow at the corners of my vision for any movement. After a heartbeat and nothing, I allow the tension to ease out of me in the form of a long, slow exhale that reverberates around the whole place. Things continue like this as I traverse the whole passage, pausing, listening, moving on, repeat, eventually losing track of time while I go deeper into the tunnel. Until finally, the corridor ends with the sight of light slanting from a door left ajar. On the other side, from whatever little glimpse the opening offers, I spy bottles, lingering walls, and liquor barrels for aging. Oh God, is Marianne's body there? The wine cellar.
Right into the kitchen, then.
Oh God. More than eager to get out of this place, I quicken my pace. But as soon as the door is within arm's reach, and I push it open, a foul, putrid scent assaults my senses. A heady mixture of odors akin to a rotting fruit and decaying meat that catches me completely off guard. Surprised, I stumble back, gagging, having accidentally breathed a lungful of it, only for my foot to end up disturbing the edge of a nearby puddle I failed to notice earlier. It sends splashes of liquid right across the hem of my pants, and I fight the urge to grimace as a raw, metallic smell rises up in the air. Oh yeah, it is Marianne's body. A smell I'm already more than familiar with, thank you very much. That doesn't mean I have to like it. Sighing, I take a brief moment to brace myself before crossing the threshold, already expecting the worst. Okay. The trail of dark liquid leads me to it. Its form is slumped against a wine vat, not too far from the door. The rank lingers heavier here, stronger. Putrefaction has just started, but in a place like this, you can't really tell the time of death from that alone. The humidity and temperature in this room has likely delayed the process. An estimate? This person has died some time around 3 or 5 days ago, which places the timeline around the time people are just moving in and also the housewarming party. A servant, then? No. Someone with the same social status as the Wrights. Whoever it is also read the letter, based on the writings around the body. That's right, I don't see it. Someone who is also present during the open house and the party. So a guest. Wordlessly I draw closer, muttering a quiet prayer under my breath for the departed. The least I can do is figure out who it is, and try to find his or her family once I'm done here. Let them know what has become of their kin. Even through the layers of clothes, its shoulder feels cold to the touch. Somehow, despite not being new to this, it still sends a nauseating chill to my stomach. Maybe it's because this time I know exactly why this person died. Another innocent casualty of this curse. Ignoring the dread, gently, I give the blazer a pull. Oh, God. Why would you pull? Oh, fuck. Wasn't in peace. Oh, God. Oh, stop moving. Please, fuck, God, Jesus Christ. Ugh, thank you for stopping. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, I'm not gonna look at it. It's so hard not to look at it. Unexpectedly, her head lolls back, twisted, contorted, severed. It dangles. Fuck, it dangles. From one side to the other before settling in an odd angle. Next thing I know, I'm staring at the hollow base of her neck, with only a thin layer of skin keeping her severed head from her body. Perhaps to the artists making you... Yeah. God. But more than the gruesome sight, or the sickening feeling that has lurched up to my throat, it's recognition. I know this woman. And it's not just any woman I've seen randomly on the streets. She's the same one I met at G's 5 days ago, smashed drunk and blabbering her frustrations about her employers. Marianne McCullough, famous interior designer extraordinaire. Not so extraordinary now, with her throat sliced viciously in half and her whole body drenched in her own blood. Ugh. Fuck. Oh, God. Yeah, that image is gonna, I can see it behind my eyelids. Once the surprise subsides, I muster the courage to properly lie her down, closing her eyes and covering her face with my handkerchief. After his fall, Ashton found himself in an underground passage when he came to, despite the questions in his mind, pushed on. The passage eventually led him right into the mansion's wine cellar, but inside, he found Marianne. It's perhaps the kindest gesture I can offer her right now, pressed for time as I am. But for someone to suffer this kind of death... In the end, the only thing I am able to do is avert my gaze and continue with my plans. Surreal. This all nothing but a surreal nightmare. Oh. It should be, this is all but. Oh well. But after everything, should this even surprise me? Ghosts, curses, hidden passages? I can't even bring myself to vocally question anything anymore, in spite of a number of them already swimming inside my head. As a kid, I used to crave for this kind of adventure. The stuff of mystery and detective novels, daring chases, interesting cases to solve, suspects to put behind bars, justice to serve. I was blinded, I admit. Now I simply want this to be over.
You really believe it'll be that easy, don't you?
Ugh. I pause mid-step, confused. Warily, I look around, searching wildly for the source. Is it the mirror? A long minute passes. No one speaks again. Breathing out a sigh of relief, I simply continue, this time, treading lightly, carefully not to make a sound. Up ahead, I can already glimpse a set of stairs that must lead to the kitchen. Getting unnoticed in the wine cellar is not a problem, but if someone's upstairs when I pop up, well, to say it'll be complicated might be a little of an understatement, especially if that butler's in there. If I get caught, no one else will be able to fix this.
See? So full of yourself, aren't you?
This time I'm sure. There's really a voice. Well, voices. Despite standing away only a few paces from the exit, I find myself stopping and looking for it. Searching the admitted surrounding for the familiar form of the woman. I don't even have to venture too far from where I'm standing. Just an arm's length away from me, a mirror stands, and from it, they speak, oh, Jesus Christ. All singing the same mocking tune against my ears, letting it echo throughout the small, unfortunate murmurs and laughters, jeering, scoffing, dreading. Lacing venom into every crevice in my head, taunting me.
Look at you, mouthing off like some hero.
Okay, so I have a feeling the reason why it's blurred is because if I went with the route where all of them stayed dead and I just kept that route, we'd see the image. I have a feeling it'd be like that.
You can't even fix your own silly little problems.
You haven't really changed, have you?
Useless.
Pathetic.
You're wrong.
My mistake lies in the first instance I've answered. The very second denial has slipped from my mouth, their words have also seeped into my heart, allowing it to prod and rouse my temper. Despite knowing they are merely doing this to goad me, each word, each syllable trickle into me, spurring the guilt I hope I've long buried.
Are we?
Or is that simply what you've been telling yourself all this time?
Something to make yourself feel better, perhaps?
You're the one who took that letter off Isabella's hand that day. You're the one who opened it.
How does it feel, I wonder, to know you're responsible for all of this?
What do you think I'm doing? Why do you think I'm still trying to fix this?
Oh, but you can't. It's already too late, and you know that. You know all of this is futile.
Just face it, Ashton Frey. You're a failure, and they are the ones who have to pay for it.
A badge and a gun, and you still can't protect your own friends.
Can't even solve a case for an old man.
Can't even bring Luke Wright to justice.
Can't even keep his own family together.
No wonder they left you. Before you do the same thing to them.
Mom and Dad are better off without little old you, aren't they? It's a good thing they had the sense.
Pitiful, isn't it? Some detective you are. Some friend you are. Some son you are.
You might as well just throw that rank away. You're no use to people either way.
Ugh.
Shut it!
I hate this. I hate how this monster can easily get through to me. Every weakness, every insecurity, it knows. To hear it said in my friend's voice. Even more so. But what I hate above all of it is...
You know it's true, though.
All of it.
It's why all you can do is tell us to shut up. You don't want to hear a single word, because you're already aware of it.
You can't even admit it to yourself. Who's the coward now?
But no matter how hard you try, you're not gonna be able to save anyone.
Shut it! Not a single word anymore!
In the end, your own incompetence will eventually lead to the deaths of everyone you care about.
It laughs, sharp and piercing. At its sound, something in me snaps, a rage hastily unflurred, red filling my vision. Next thing I know, I'm raising my hand, and my fist connects to its surface. Oh, a broken spirit. It shatters, renting the air with an ear-splitting crack, sending fragments of it onto the floor. The fog from my mind lifts. Every sound, every noise returns to me, flooding my every senses. All at once, there is this deafening silence. Slowly, I become aware of my surroundings. Bottles of wine, barrels of liquor, the faint old scent of death and decay somewhere, and the small cuts at the back of my fingers. Blood drips from each digit, trailed down my wrist until it disappears behind my sleeve or falls to the floor, not too deep. Negligible, even. There is pain, however, a different kind. Any ache somewhere else that stems not from the wound, but where every single word has hit. On the ground, shards lie lifeless now. No more voices, no more insults. But even as I walk away, only one whispered taunt continues to ring in my ears.
It's useless, Ashton Frey. You are going to die.
And you are going to die alone.
Of fear. That's creepy. Before he could continue to go deeper into the wine cellar, Ashton began to hear voices coming from a mirror, mocking him for his failures. It hit a sore spot in him, and in losing his temper, he smashed the mirror with his own fist. I would have done that with the butt of my gun. Only that has been long kept in the darkness, place in my heart. One that a small part of me wishes for. Why would you wish for that? The trapdoor swings open without much fuss. It is even locked, probably left open when Wright asks for some midnight snack. I make sure the coast is clear, of course, before I pull myself up. The butler of theirs is nowhere to be seen. He's probably sleeping, attending to his master, or doing some extra late-night work before turning in for the night. Meanwhile, Wright won't touch anything to do with the minimal chores, not even with a 10-foot pole. It's next to impossible for him to linger here. No servants. No anyone. And just as easy as that, I'm in. Gently I close the hatch. If things go well, the same path will be my way out. If my luck doesn't hold, that's not an option now, is it? I have people waiting for me. Really don't want to think what might happen. Sometimes it's best if I simply revel in the little victories. They're great blessings when everything else is going against you. That's true. And in a place like this, fraught with unknown dangers, it's a feeling that lasts only but a second. Suddenly a sob. Shit. Ringing out from some distant part of the house, echoing through its empty halls. My shoulders immediately tense, hairs rising at the back of my neck as a sudden chill passes. This, despite myself and the beliefs I've long held. Because as much as I want to convince myself that nothing's wrong, my experience tells a wholly different story.
What are the chances I'll be able to leave this place alive?
Probably not. I want to be optimistic about it. Really. However, I'm going against something almost everyone can't quite understand. I'm just being realistic with my chances. Beyond the walls of this room, the cries continue to grow louder. With a ragged draw of breath, heavy with apprehension, I slip out of the door. Like a siren call, her voice beckons. Finding out who that is seems a good place to start as any. Okay, I keep to the shadows for the most part. Not that there's any need to, the entire place just feels empty. Odd. With a house this big, it should have a large staff. You think there'll be one or two roaming about for some late-night chores, or someone sneaking out whoever's creating this ruckus. There's none, however.
Shouldn't they have security posted inside as well?
Yeah, this part's familiar, but I'm not gonna skip it. Unless their security means the butler, though I doubt Scumbag's that sloppy. He loves his life more than anything. Probably more than his own wife. Yes. Yes, he does. And things he's done, he's bound to make more than an enemy or two. He's also the kind who'll do anything to keep himself safe. alive.
I wonder what he'll say when he finds out that there's something not human living with him in his own house.
Yeah. Potential dangers aside, being on my own grants me a greater degree of mobility, which I'm more comfortable with. With no tag along, I only have to worry about myself. Watch my back. Selfish, I know.
But necessary.
In the same manner, this whole plan is, no matter how idiotic going into this is. Besides, I don't really need a guide when the house's layout is fairly simple, almost mirrored, with only a few modifications in the rooms. Although I've only been here once, I think I already have a good grasp of this place ins and outs. Wow, that's quick. As long as you can tell which is east and west, it shouldn't be hard to find my way around. After the dining room, the main foyer should be the next thing that greets me, where the woman's cries are leading me. Honestly, after what happened outside, I'm not even sure if I should be trusting what I'm hearing. But with this whole house somehow seemingly devoid of any of its inhabitants, I'm inclined to look into this. More than surveying this curse, a huge part of this is my training speaking.
I just hope this isn't a crime scene I'm walking into.
You already walked into one. I really don't think you should be saying that at this point. But nothing's ever that simple, is it? Not when you're dealing with the supernatural. Nope. Because as soon as my feet cross to the next room, something shifts. Oh. Yep, blood. In a flash, without any fanfare. It happens in the blink of an eye. I almost miss it. One moment there's red, and the next, nothing. I mean, after a lot of the horrible crap you did, I really don't think you have the right to cry about it. She sits in the middle of the room, shoulders hunched, shaking. Her hands cover her face as she weeps, oblivious to my presence.
Why are you doing this? Just please. Don't you love me?
Hana, maybe it's all just a show, a taste of what will eventually be souls forever held captive in a never-ending nightmare.
Mother. I've done it, Mother. Take me with you, please. I can still hear her. She's here. Help me! Help me, please!
Is this what the curse is? What it means for all of us? That the letter not a morbid cry for help, but an invitation? A beckoning for unsuspecting souls to be dragged into this place's horrors? To be put under centuries and centuries of torment and agony? Suddenly dying a painful death seems preferable, enticing, than ending up here, living a tortured existence. Perhaps it's all the same. Zack helps Isabella and Rebecca first, assisting them up through the gap. The moment the ladies are in, I nod for him to go through.
Go ahead. I'll watch your back.
Surprisingly, he does that without any protest. Not that there's any need to. Sometime after entering this room, the whole place has calmed down. No wails, no whispers, just a silence too deafening. But I'm not letting my guard down until everyone's on the other side of this nightmare, safe. After a long, desperate run in search of a way out, the house calmed down for some reason. An exit was finally in sight. Waiting on this side, however, is Luke with a gun.
Now, Feathers. Manners. You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
Why don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talks back. The gall! You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
Shooting him right now will be so worth it. Not the way he stares at me like I'm a damn pest. But this isn't what I've come here for. I'm not a murderer. As much as I loathe him, I'm not the kind who will kill people in cold blood for my own gain or amusement. The law will bring him what he deserves one of these days. At the moment, however, we're all in the same boat with this curse, and he needs to understand that. The longer we stand here, the more time we're wasting and losing, something we don't have much of. But how can I convince him? The scum is so full of himself, prefers to hear the sound of his own voice more than those of the people around him, no matter how much sense they make. Probably, only way I can make him listen is if I beg. No way in hell is that happening.
Sorry about this. I really don't have time for you.
I don't think twice. Within the span of a heartbeat, I'm moving and pulling on the trigger. 2 shots in quick succession, each across the whole foyer, and both hit their true mark. Wright recoils with a sharp cry of pain. His pistol falls uselessly on the floor with a loud clank, followed by drops of blood from his now bleeding wrist.
Why, you insolent!
He's down on 2 successive steps when I tackle him to the floor, pinning him hard with my arm. Oh shit. Although before I can knock him out with one solid right hook, an agonized wail bursts through the tense air, loud enough to echo along the dark, empty halls of the mansion, piercing enough for every occupant in the foyer to cover their ears and close their eyes. Then all at once there are images. Well, yeah. Bearing down on me is the weight of its accompanying emotions. But they're my own. Yeah, and that was, I thought before that was like the Lord of the Manor? No, it was probably somebody who worked on the mansion. For the mansion. Can't speak. All from a time long gone, and a life that was never mine. However, there's no time to make sense of it all. Amidst the discord and the noise, something whizzes past. Too close, too swift. A brief, keen blur that barely registers in my eyes, like an arrow quickly finding its mark, heading straight for...
Isabella!
Time slows to a stop. In one moment of clarity, my body moves on its own, heart pounding hard against my ears, blood rushing through every vein. Spurred on by adrenaline, in a desperate bid to reach her crouched, unsuspecting form, and I don't even get to yell for her a second time. I don't even get to call her name.
Ashton!
Oh, Jesus Christ! An acute pain bursts through my chest in the next instant. All of a sudden, everything around me feels too sharp. Every edge, every point. Even the act of drawing a deep breath alone stings and burns my lungs, while an intense ache slowly spreads throughout my whole body. Numb. I feel numb. A hand comes away bleeding, shaking, while I can only let out a wet, ragged laugh. Soon, without warning, I'm going down on my knees, and the whole world is pitched sideways. An arm, warm and welcoming, is on me the second I stumble back, catching my fall. Ah, fuck. This sucks. Isabella has always been warm, after all. Oh, and it's right in his chest. Jesus. Not wanting to risk anything, Ashton quickly disarmed Luke in 2 shots. But before he could move to tackle him, a wail echoed throughout the mansion. In his haze of memories and voices, he noticed something fly by, rapidly heading towards Isabella. Its body moved on its own.
Ash!
Her hands are shaking, her lips are quivering while she looks at me with wide, fearful eyes. Tears have started to form at their corners, threatening to spill at any moment, and a pang of regret hits me at the sight of it.
Ashton!
Oh, a too sudden end. Oh, God. Even for the last time, I can't even give her a reason to smile.
Hey, you're crying again. Don't give me that look. Told you. Doesn't suit you.
Cautiously, despite the stabbing aches shooting up at every moment, I reach a trembling hand to wipe them away. Crying has never looked good on her, after all. My arm never makes it far, however. Midway, she meets my hand, catching it in a light grip, as if she's all too afraid I might break. Though I already am. Just slowly. The pain is easing. Everything's going cold.
Shut up, Ash! Don't move, alright? Stop talking! We'll get you a doctor! Someone! Just stay put! Just stay put, okay? You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I'd like to agree with that on her. Reassure her. But I've gone through a lot. Survived a lot of shit. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that I'm done for. Whatever hit me, a hole is in the chest is fatal. A hole to the chest is fatal enough. I don't think I'm going to bounce back from this. I'm dying.
I'm sorry.
I should be afraid in this moment. Yet I'm not. No fear. No dread. Just an acceptance. And a deep regret as she appears before us, her voice echoing throughout the foyer. What the fuck? She's dead, though. What? That's some fucked up shit. At the top of the staircase, Hannah Wright stands, pale as death and an expression eerily calm. A cold chill runs down my spine at the sight. The woman just lingers there, a poor mimicry of life, a chilling smile on her face. Without a doubt, it's her.
I told you, didn't I?
Ah! Ah!
Everything you're doing is useless, Ashton Frey.
Fuck.
And now, you're dying. Meddlesome fool.
There's a different necklace on. Okay.
Hannah? You're not supposed to be here.
I'm dead.
Oh, Luke, darling, my love. You look so upset. Are you not happy to see me?
Outside, another streak of lightning flashes and the clap of thunder ripples across the sky. Here, there's only a whispered sigh, a fading breath, a lone heart that beats hard one last time. She got one thing wrong, though. God damn it. I did not die alone. Fuck. I'm very upset. Oh, God. Receiving a fatal wound, the last thing Ashton heard before darkness filled his vision is a mocking laughter echoing in the foyer. At the top of the grand staircase stood the ominous figure of Hannah Wright, who's supposed to be dead. Okay. So she made it look like the maid killed the Lord, when in truth it was her. Well, shit. I don't have much to say about that, honestly. The whole thing with how Ash goes, I mean, it makes sense. He would go like that to save Isabel. But Jesus, I just well, I guess we won't really know if how things go until, of course, until I do Luke's. But yeah, damn. Anyway, guys, this is Cat Demon 43, and I hope you all have a wonderful night, day, week, whenever, and I'll see you all next time. Alright, bye guys. Oh god, I missed that detective. Damn it, Holmes.